Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to live of the 2020 recap. We're going to talk about a couple of things here. The main thing that we're going to discuss here are our top 5 off-season priorities. This is serious? God, more time, baby. How's everybody doing? All right, let me know in the comments. How's everybody doing with the season over and everything that transpired last night? Let everybody know how you're feeling in the comments, in the chat box. Shout out to everybody that's joining live to go over this very important conversation, all right? Because we are sitting on the couch and we are now going to analyze how can this team get better, all right? Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Shout out to everybody there. Okay. I will timestamp this if you're catching this on the replay. I will have the timestamps if you want to, pick one of these other subjects, you can do that in the replay. So check that out in the description of this video. All right. But without further ado, guys, let's get into my number 5 important offseason move that the Cowboys need to do this offseason. And it all starts today. Okay. It's Black Monday. The Cowboys, the staff, they're doing exit interviews and this kind of things. But for me, let's get into this discussion here. All right. So let me go ahead and get this rolling for you guys. And what we're talking about here is number 5. Okay. Number 5 is going to be, the defensive coordinator. All right. We're talking about Mike Nolan specifically. We didn't have, a very good defense. It was the worst in Cowboys history. All right. So for number 5, offseason priority, this could be number 1, but we're going to start at number 5 right here, defensive coordinator. The Cowboys need to figure out, are they going to give him a reprieve? Is Mike McCarthy going to fight for his guy? This is his guy, all right? Or is the GM, Jerry Jones, going to say, okay, this isn't going to get it done. We need to get somebody in here. And it may not stop with the defensive coordinator. They may have to make some changes, at linebacker coach, your secondary coaches and that kind of thing. So when you start talking about, where do you need to shuffle? I think it's, it's defensive coordinator. And if you want to figure out how to keep Sean Lee in the picture, you're going to talk about, possibly putting in, Sean Lee somewhere on this staff. I know he says he kind of wants to play, and we've heard him in previous, interviews say that he wants to come back and play and this and that. But I think the writing is on the wall here. Cowboys needing to they need to churn this linebacker position, and I think for Sean Lee, maybe you can bring him on here as a defensive assistant and move him up the ladder. I don't think this is a guy that you can immediately insert as a defensive coordinator. He's got to get work under his belt. You can't just move it like that. So linebacker coach would be a position, but defensive coordinator, guys, let me know in the comments. Do you want Mike Nolan back? Yes or no? Okay, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. Myself, I want him out of here. Okay, he didn't get it done, and it took a long time for, to see any kind of improvement. It shouldn't take this long, even with the pandemic. It shouldn't take 12, 14 games or whatever to figure the thing out. You know what I mean? And the defense didn't have incredible, injuries like the offense did. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of no's in the chat box. Yeah, a lot of no's. Let me know who you guys want as a defensive coordinator. There's a lot of names out there, Black Monday. There's a lot of people that are on the street now. We saw Anthony Lynn. He's out on the market as well. We've kind of talked about, are they going to stick with the 4-3, this hybrid crap? I think they have to get away from the hybrid junk. Okay, either 4-3 or a 3-4, and let's rock and roll. So I think that's one of the most important things that the Cowboys need to figure out within the coming days as far as a defensive coordinator. Either come out and say, that Mike McCarthy is going to give him one more year, which I know a lot of us will not like that answer, but at least you can move on. You know what I'm saying? So they need to get some kind of confirmation as far as what they're going to do with defensive coordinator. And it's got to be quick. It's got to be quick because a lot of teams are going to want to be assembling their staffs for these new coaches that are going to be coming into the league. There's a lot of turnover this season as well. So Cowboys, if they're going to make a change here, they need to get with it quick, and they need to start bringing in some people in here. If they want to go in-house, the obvious choice is probably going to be George Edwards. He's got the defensive credentials there with the Vikings. Right now he's a defensive senior assistant. He can slide into that position there. So that might be the more logical choice. But if you want to go outside of the team, there's going to be a lot of people out there that will be available, but they can't sleep on it. They'll have to make a move there quick. So let me know what you guys think about defensive coordinator. Who do you want in here? Let me know in the comments what names jump out to you, or do you think they're going to go in-house with George Edwards? Let me know what you guys think. But that's my number 5 on this list, everybody. Number 5. Let's go to number 4 on my list. The number 4 thing that the Cowboys need to do this offseason is going to be finding somebody opposite of Donovan Wilson. Okay. We saw Donovan Wilson, come onto the scene, and this is another gaffe by the team. Why did it take so long? We saw what he did the previous season, where he went off in the preseason, and they didn't want to put him out there. And then again, this 2020 season, they took forever to get him into the lineup. So once Donovan Wilson got into the lineup, though, I mean, he was a difference maker. You know what I mean? So my number 4 offseason priority is get a safety opposite of Donovan Wilson. Okay. And so right now we don't have that. I don't want it to be some of these other guys that are on the team. They're not going to cut it. It's not going to be Darian Thompson. It's not going to be Xavier Woods. Hopefully, Mr. 70% effort. You can't have that. You can't have that. And some of these other guys. So they need to figure that out. They need to figure out who's going to play safety opposite Donovan Wilson. All right. I think people get a little bit too caught up on the strong safety versus free safety. Basically, we need playmakers. Okay. You can be a ball hawk, you can be in the box safety, but you need more playmakers. What I like about Donovan Wilson, he's pretty versatile in both of those. He can cover, he can hit you, he can play the run well. I wouldn't mind getting another player of this caliber. Can you get somebody in free agency like Justin Simmons from the Broncos, or a Marcus Williams? These are names that you're going to hear. I'm seeing it here in the chat box as well. So these are names that you might see, or do the Cowboys finally take that dive into the deep end of the pool and get you a safety in the draft? The Cowboys have had plenty of opportunities to get quality safeties. Foots and I have covered the safeties the last couple of seasons, going all the way back to Buda Baker, going back to a couple of these other draft classes, and guys that are contributing right now in the league at a high level. You talk about Juan Thornhill, Taylor Rapp, these guys that we liked coming into the draft. Cowboys passed on that. They went with Tristan Hill. I don't know. It feels like we're still evaluating Tristan Hill because he got injured early on in the season. So they got to figure that thing out with the safety position. That's my number 4, guys. Let me know what you guys want to do at the safety position. Do you want to spend money in a free agent? Do you want to keep somebody? Do you want Xavier Woods to stay here? I don't, but maybe somebody out there does. Or do you want to draft a safety high in this draft? I'm talking the first 3 rounds. Okay, we can't keep throwing these late picks. Obviously, Donovan Wilson was a late pick, and he's turned out to be good. But for the most part, this is not the norm. The Cowboys, they like to roll the dice and hit on players. But I think when you're looking at the defense, there's a lot of work to be done there, especially in the secondary. Okay, so let me know what you guys want to do there in the safety position opposite Donovan. Donovan Wilson played amazing, man. I mean, they should have had this guy on the field a lot earlier. We may have had more splash plays from that. But we're seeing kind of the same old thing here with the Cowboys just being so stubborn, with putting these players in or taking them out and this kind of thing. All right. So that's my number 4. Find you a safety opposite Donovan Wilson. They have to do it. You can't play around with this. All right. And especially when you look at how the NFC East is kind of shaping up. A lot of these guys are drafting wide receivers, tight ends, guys that they're going to create mismatches. The Cowboys need to answer that, by fortifying that secondary, whether it's a safety or adding in another defensive back, another cornerback. Okay. So that's number 4 for me. You got to get another guy in there. And don't go cheap. Don't come in here and bring me another Clinton Dix or somebody with name recognition. Guarantee you guys, you're going to see, some players with name recognition, but some of them are washed up. Okay, so we, as fans, we can't fall for the trap again. I think a lot of us, me included, we fell for some of the name recognition with free agency. Ended up being a complete utter disaster. Okay, so that's my number 4 priority. Number 3, guys. My number 3 priority is going to be on the offensive side of the ball. Let's take a look at this. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat box. Hit like on this video if you're enjoying this content. Do appreciate all you guys out there. Hit like on the video, guys. I do appreciate you. My number 3 list is going to be, the status of Tyron and La'el Collins. Okay. This is very, very big because I think this is what really derailed the Cowboys' momentum going into the season. We didn't even have these guys available. Okay. And you cannot go into the season and say, oh, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Don't worry about it, this and that. You can't do that. There's a history here with Tyron Smith. I love the player, man. Don't get me wrong. I love Tyron Smith, but he's been in the league for a long time. And yeah, he came into the league young, but with the injuries that are continuing to nag him, and now we're losing more time. We lost the whole season of Tyron Smith. That has not happened yet. So you cannot have your head in the sand and say, oh, we're going to be fine here, Tyron Smith. You can't cross your fingers because, that really hurt. That really hurt the team. These 2 guys here, La'el Collins, with the hip, that's, they're not telling us the whole truth there. Was he super out of shape? Was it because of the wreck? Was he not wearing his seatbelt? I mean, there's something goofy there with that. So, this needs to be a conversation to be had. Okay, I saw an interesting tweet from Bobby Belt as far as his early predictions. Go check him out on Twitter if you haven't already. Bobby Belt. But he had one of his predictions was releasing Tyron Smith. So very bold prediction. But if you're going to make some kind of move like that, this would be a year where I think you're going to take on $8.5, almost $9 million of dead cap hit. Okay. But these are the kinds of conversations the Cowboys are going to have. Do you want to cut Jalen Smith or do you want to cut Tyron Smith? Some people want to cut Zeke. So these are the conversations they're going to have. But for me, guys, number 3, and it's high, this offensive line. All right. So I want to know what the status is. We haven't heard anything from anybody about what is the status on the surgery. Are they doing are they progressing well? Are there any setbacks? Are they on schedule? Are they going to start on PUP? Like, there has been nothing on these 2 guys, and it is starting to concern me. We're in January already. Senior Bowl, you kind of have to start to look at what do you want to do here? Offensive line speaking, you got some good time from Brandon Knight and Terrence Steele, but man, you do not want to go another season with those 2 guys. Yes, they have a season under their belt, and they'll probably get a little bit better, but, man, I'd rather have the premier tackles back. All right, so, yeah, I'm hoping that these guys will be back, but you got to have the contingency plan. You don't want to get caught with your pants down and go through, these offensive struggles again. You know what I mean? And I think the running game suffered the most from this. You know, we saw Ezekiel Elliott have his lowest production of the season from this offensive line. And you know, I don't care what running back you are, you got to have some decent guys out there. I mean, look at Derrick Henry, 2,000 yards running. They have a pretty good offensive line. You know, it's you got to have the offensive line. This whole notion of you know not eating offensive linemen, it just isn't the case. Not in this day and age. I mean, the days of Barry Sanders, you know, those are one in a million where Barry Sanders could run with a subpar offensive line. But for the most part, you know, a lot of these guys have to have some sort of remnants of a good offensive line. The Cowboys need to reload. They need to reload. So that's my number 3, guys. What do you think is going to happen here with the offensive linemen? Are you worried at all about Tyron Smith? Do you think he might come on and do a Travis Frederick and retire? Do you think the Cowboys might ultimately release him to save some money and and move on, and get somebody else in here? Let me know what you guys think about the offensive linemen, how important it is to this team that you got to have these tackles back. And if you don't have these guys back, you better have a plan in place. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think about the offensive linemen. All right. Number 2 priority for the 21 offseason, guys. This is a big one. All right. And we're talking about free agency. All right. The Cowboys have to do a better job this offseason and sign better free agents. Okay, we kind of hit on this earlier. This thing here about the free agencies, the Cowboys have gone cheap the last couple of seasons, and they really got bit really bad. We got bit by a king cobra this offseason because, none of the guys panned out. They had name recognition, but none of them panned out. Clinton Dix, Dontari Poe, Worley, Aldon Smith. He was okay. I mean, he was not a world beater, and he was a good little story. It was a good a feel good story, but he kind of started out hot and kind of disappeared the rest of the way. So they got to do better signing free agents, guys. And what I mean is, I think you gotta dip dip your toes in the first week of free agency. You know what I mean? Do you want to get Justin Simmons, safety from Denver? He may hit the market. If so, that's early. You got to get him in week 1. Do you want to get another pass rusher like a Matt Judon? Yeah, he's going to be expensive, but he's going to be somebody that you got to jump on early. Dalvin Tomlinson, the beefy playmaking defensive tackle from the Giants. That guy's a hell of a tackle, man. We saw what he did to Connor Williams and just bullied him all game. And that's what you got to do. You got to. It's a chess match. And with Connor Williams there at left guard, you're playing checkers when you should be playing chess. Okay, so that's another topic there that you got to figure out. Okay, but you got to sign better free agents. All right, and you can't fall for the name recognitions, guys. You're going to see names out there. They're going to be familiar. You're going to see a Geno Atkins out there available. Oh, Geno Atkins, dude! It's been about 5 years since he's been a beast. So don't fall for the trap. You're going to see name recognition free agents out there that are going to be, your 3rd, 4th, and 5th week kind of bargain bin kind of guys. And, that's not what we need. You at least one guy, and get somebody in here. Defense. we got to fix the defense. So sign better free agents. The Cowboys are always talking about, oh, we prefer our in-house guys and we want to sign our own guys. Well, who do you want to keep from our free agents? There's not very many that I want to bring back here. Do you want to bring back Jordan Lewis? Xavier Woods? I don't want to bring back Xavier Woods. That guy's plateaued. He's Mr. 70% on the field. So sign better free agents. It hasn't quite worked as well here in recent years. So Will McClay, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, that front office, they need to take a step back and reevaluate what they're doing in free agency, because it hasn't looked good the last couple years. They've tried to go cheap in you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. They like to do these reclamation projects. They rarely work. I think it's time now that you go and you go get you a decent free agent, at least week 1, week 2. But if we're gonna go into this again where it's crickets for the first 3 or 4 weeks of free agency, forget it. It ain't gonna pump me up. It's not. I'm just gonna be like, all right, we've seen this. We've seen this before. So that's my number two. My number two thing. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the chat box, in the comments. What do the Cowboys need to do with free agency? Do you want them to go to the bargain bin again, or do you need at least one high priced free agent? Okay, I think you need more blue chip players here, more playmakers. There's no doubt about that. You're not going to find playmakers on week 3, week 4, and 5 of free agency. You're just not. Those are depth guys, rotational guys. That's not what we need. Okay, we have plenty of that, and they're not that good. So that's number 2 for me. All right. Number 1 on my top 5 priorities of the offseason, should be no surprise, and it's going to be, extending Dak Prescott. And I'm not talking about franchise tag. They have that in their back pocket, obviously, to franchise tag, but that's about $38 million that you got to chop off your salary cap. That's too much money, dude. $38 million. So, and supposedly, the owners are running this scam where, they have to lower the cap because of COVID and all this other bull crap. It's a bull. It's a bunch of bull, bro. These guys have billions of dollars coming in from, all of these TV deals, streaming deals, merchandise. I mean, it's these owners are greedy as hell, man. This whole thing about lowering the cap, it's a bunch of bull. Like, seriously, it is, bro. Like, don't even fall for it. They're going to try to feed it to you. They've been trying to feed it throughout the season, and everybody's talking about, oh, the cap is going to be lowered and this and that. Yeah, they're going to do it because they're selling it to do that because of, COVID, and it's a bunch of bull. That being said, the owners are going to go. They're going to roll with that. They're cheap, so they are going to probably go with that. So with Dak Prescott, you need to extend him that way. You can spread out the contract in the early years, and then as the contract progresses, he gets paid more and that kind of thing. But to have $38 million, taken right off the top, right off the bat on a franchise tag for a second year in a row, I don't want that, because then you are going to kind of handcuff yourself to what you want to do in free agency. You are. I mean, $38 million, what are you going to have left over? More of the 4th and 5th week of free agency. That does nothing for me. All of us as fans, we're ready for a championship, man. Like, that's why they brought in Mike McCarthy. All we're going to do, what was the saying that he said? Everything we do is going to be about winning. All right. Well, it didn't happen this year. All right. There's a lot of things that happened in this season, but you got to get this done, man. You got to get this done. All right. What is the price tag of Prescott going to be? I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be $38 million per year? Is he a $40 million quarterback? Is he more? Okay. And the argument will always be market value. People don't want to hear that, right? Like, I'm not going to pay him $40 million. I'm not going to pay him this and that. You need a quarterback, okay? You need a franchise quarterback. A lot of these teams that struggled, they didn't have quarterbacks. Playing plain and simple, you can't mess with the position. If you have a franchise quarterback place like a Dak Prescott, you know, you're going to win some games, you know, and barring any crazy season like we had this season, you should be able to win more games in 2021. All right. You just got to make a couple of fixes here, improve your depth. Like I said earlier, you got to confirm Tyron Smith and you got to confirm the status of Lyle Collins. You have to. You cannot go into this saying they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. No. Confirm that shit, bro. Confirm that shit because, you know, this you got to have these guys blocking up front. Otherwise, what do you do with your weapons? You know what I mean? If your quarterback doesn't have enough time to throw the ball, you know, you're not going to have 3 1,000-yard receivers. You know, I think they could have hit that mark, man. You know, Amari Cooper had that prediction earlier in the season. We can hit 3 1,000. I think they could have done it. They almost did with Andy Dalton. You know, CeeDee Lamb got to like 953, 973, something like that, almost 1,000 yards. And Michael Gallup, I think, is like 870 something. So they got close, man. But Ezekiel Elliott, we saw that suffered there. The lanes weren't there. You had too many people in the backfield, you know, because of the line changes. Terrence Steele, Connor Williams still struggling with strength. Okay. So extend Dak Prescott. Like, you know, they can work in the deal now. Don't do this crap again like they did last year and let this shit drag out the whole offseason. All right? Stop with that crap. All right? You gave Lawrence his money. You gave Zeke his money. You need your franchise quarterback in here. All right? When the season was really bad and the Cowboys were, you know, in that range of possibly getting a quarterback, it kind of was in my mind like maybe we could do this. But then as I'm watching the rest of the collegiate season, I saw Trevor Lawrence kind of struggle here with some of these games. You know, he didn't look good in that Ohio State game. Fields also had some struggles as well. So, you know, these guys, I don't know if they're as hot as some people had perceived them to be coming into the 2020 college season. You know what I mean? So that is a risk. That is a risk. I don't know that these guys are, in fact, generational talents. If you're talking about a Trevor Lawrence being a Peyton Manning, I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about Justin Fields, and I don't know about these other guys being any kind of generational talents. You know what I'm saying? So extend Dak Prescott. Let's rock and roll. Get it done right now. That way we don't have any crazy drama leading up to the draft. You know, I really don't want to see him tagged. That's just too much money off the top. I want to have that money available so we can rock and roll, man. Let's go get Dalvin Tomlinson, man. Can you imagine him on that defensive line with Gallimore? That would be something, man. Now we're talking about shutting down the run and getting to the quarterback. They do it both. Both of them do it. So, you know, they got to I think you got to go all in on the defense this year. You know what I mean? There's people talking about, you know, what do you want to do with the top 10 pick? You want to get that tight end? I don't want to get a tight end, bro. I don't. You know? I want defense. And if you don't feel comfortable drafting a defensive player at number 10, move down and then get your defensive player. But, I don't want a damn tight end in here because then how are you going to spread the wealth around with whoever we already have right now? You know what I mean? Like your 3 wideouts, Dalton Schultz, these guys. So I know it's tempting. I like them as well, but there's a high bust factor on these first round tight ends as well. That's well documented. That shit scares me. So secondary for me, you know, Patrick Surtain. I like him at 10. It's kind of rich, maybe, but you know, we see it happen all the time. The cornerbacks, they get pushed up. They do go early. They do go early. So, you know, if he's there at 10 and some of these other players are taken, do it. You know, Trayvon Diggs, Patrick Surtain. Shoot, man. I don't know about you, but that excites the crap out of me right there. All right. Do you want to go Micah Parsons? Do you want to roll the dice there on an opted out player with not too much linebacker experience? That's a possibility. Will you have Sean Lee as your linebacker coach? The one thing I do like about that is I think if you bring in Sean Lee as a linebacker coach, I think he'll do well. Teaching these young guys how to study and how to prepare for games. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping that's the career path that Sean Lee goes. But that's my list, guys. That's my list. Determine your defensive coordinator and your scheme. That's number 5. Okay. What do you want to do with Mike Nolan? Do you want to stick with the 4-3? Do you want to go 3-4? Do you want to switch the scheme up? You know what I mean? These are big things that the Cowboys need to find out quickly. Number 4, you need the safety opposite of Donovan Wilson. Okay, you got to get that guy. Enough of that. Enough of the bull crap there. Get somebody good there. Number 3, you got to confirm the health of Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins. Are they good to go? Are they thinking about retiring? Are they physically done? You know what I mean? You got to find out there. Okay. Number 2, free agency. You need to spend some money. Week 1, week 2. If I don't see them doing that, I'm not going to be excited. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be excited about it. And then number 1, obviously, right here, extend Dak Prescott. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this list here, and give me your top 5. If you want to sound off here in the comments or in the chat box, give me your top 5 off-season priorities. Let me know what you guys think. And shout out to everybody that joined live, man. I appreciate all you guys. See the familiar names out here. John Lou, Stevie Mack, appreciate you, bro. Big Country, Joseph Colon, Jay Trilla, Skip Salis. Appreciate all you guys joining out here. Mark Croc, appreciate you, bro. Dr. Football, appreciate everybody that joined in live, man. Make sure you guys hit like on this video if you enjoyed today's live stream about our top 5 off-season priorities. Hit like on this video, guys. It does help out a lot. So moving forward, man, it's going to be draft and free agency conversation the rest of the way, along with the news of the day for the Cowboys. So we'll be doing more of this. We do have the Senior Bowl coming up here. That's really one of my favorite times of the year. That is later this month already. So we're coming up on, seeing a little bit more draft coverage here. The Reese's Senior Bowl. There will not be an East-West Shrine Bowl. That has been canceled due to COVID. So we won't cover that, but we will cover the Senior Bowl full force. Stick with me here. I'll give you the names of who we met with and some of the players that I like out of the practices. So it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, but that's it for today's stream. Thanks again, all you guys. Thanks again for checking out today's episode. As usual, can't do this without you. Continue to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace.